Hello everyone, I'm Sensei Paz from North-Magnolia, and today we're going to be talking about the dot round function and the dot random function. Let's get to it. So, do you remember what the dot random function does? Yes? No? Well, if you said that it gives you a number between 0 and 1, that would be correct. But if you said that it's not a whole number or not an integer, that's going to give you bonus points. Because what it does is it gives you a random decimal that can either be a number like this or a number like that. Now, do you know what the dot round function does? Pause the video. Say it out loud if you know it. Okay. Did he say it turns it into a nice little number like an integer? Or that it cuts off all the numbers to the right of the 0? If you did, then that's exactly what it is. For a number like 0.27, it turns it into 0. And 0.61, it turns it into 1. Now, why is that? Well, anything that's 0.5 or above, so like 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, that goes to 1. Anything that's below 0.5, so like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.49, that goes to 0. That's important. Okay. Now we're actually going to write some code. If you want, you can pause the screen here, but this is what I'm going to write in a website that lets you run the code on your browser, which is quite useful since we can't access the GDP right now. So I'm going to leave that up for a second while I open up my browser. Okay. And we're going to go to ripple.it. And we're going to go to plus new REPL. And remember, you should do this in a browser that's not Microsoft Edge because it doesn't work on that. Node.js, create REPL. And it's going to give you a random name up here, which sometimes it's pretty funny. And we are sure what to do. We're going to start with var. And let's name it a number. Oops. Is equal to dot round or dot random. See if you can spot the mistake. You see it? You need to do math dot random, not match. Math. I can't spell. Okay. So what this does is it does absolutely nothing if I run it. And that is because I don't have anything to say to the little window here to spit out something, or to spit out a number, or to show a number. The only thing that this does is it takes a random number and it puts it in a variable and it stays there. So what you have to do is to go console.log, and you have to put whatever you want it to say inside of there. For us, it's going to be a number because we want to print out this, right? Now let's run it. Let's run it again. This is a random number, so it's going to spit out a different number each time. But for now, that's pretty useless, don't you think? So why don't we say it has to be a random number between 0 and 5? Well, let's go ahead and type in there for another number equals math dot random. Oops. And a semicolon. But this time, let's say we want it to be less than 5. So multiply by 5. And let's do another console.log. and we're going to put another number inside. Whoop. What this is going to do is it's going to give us this weird decimal, but it's going to give it to us up to 5. So if we run it, 4, 2, 1, 3, and so on. And if you remember what I said about rounding, like this is 4.9, we want that to go to 5 next time, because we don't really need this weird number. We want something solid. So what we're going to do is we're going to do var yet another number. And I'm going to do the same thing for now. Math.random multiplied by 5. But this time, we're going to round it. We're going to make this number useful. This is going to go to 5. This would go to 1. If you remember what I said about the 0.5 and greater going to the next number, or in the slides case, it went to 1. But what we're going to do with this is we have the output that I showed you, but then the round function is going to output a nice little number. And so to do that, we're going to have to do math.round and then give this number to the round function so it can work with it. Let's go back to the coding software. And we're going to do var, well, we're going to put a rounded number inside of this variable. So let's just call it round number. Ooh, not ruined. Rounded number. Okay. So instead of doing math.random or multiply by 5, remember this is the multiplication. We're going to just copy this. If you know how to copy, it's Control-C on your keyboard. And we're going to do math dot round. Oop. And we're going to give it this number. Or not this number, but a random number between 0 and 5. Well, what this is going to do is it's going to give us a nice little number from that number. So let's console.log, and let's print out this number. And also, let's print out the new rounded number, because we want to compare them. Okay, now if we hit run, we're going to get our original random number. We're going to get our rounded to 5 random number. We're going to get this rounded to 5 number, or not rounded, sorry, up to 5. This is another up to 5. And that one is the rounded number. If we keep running it, you notice that 3.9 goes to 4. 2.9 goes to 3. 4.15 goes back to 4. And 2.55 goes to 3. Remember, this is 0.5, so it's always going to go up to the next number. So it goes 1, 2, 3. So the next number from 2 is going to be 3. Well, that's about the gist to it. It gives you a nice little number to work with, and you might have seen this already because the roll dice game in the GDP uses these random numbers to select which face on the die it shows you. Well, I hope you've enjoyed, and happy coding!